Hello there and welcome back to my channel, or if this is the first video of mine you are seeing, then welcome. Well, if you are rouge, then the Sephora sale will start this coming Friday, so I thought it would be fun just to go through and pull out all of the makeup that is from Sephora that I tend to favor. I have a huge pile of it over there. I'm going to try to keep this really small though. I don't want it to be an overwhelming video, so there's at least only 2 or 3 products per category. I didn't want to do too much at one time. Now, whether or not you are shopping this sale, that's totally okay. Always remember that there are more than likely better deals out there. Individual brands do their own sales, as well as Black Friday sales. Those will also be coming up, so definitely there is going to be a lot more sales than this one, but I am just considering this a favorites video. I love these videos for that reason. I don't watch them to necessarily be influenced to purchase from the sale or to buy anything in particular, but I like to hear what people like, so that's all this video is just a favorites video. I am going to be applying the products along while I am talking about each of them. Of course, I'll be swatching different ones. I have some that have multiple shades. I'll be swatching a few of those too along the way, so if that sounds interesting, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, before we get in, I just have to mention, I just feel so cute today with my little heart sweater here. This comes from TJ Maxx. I have a little light pink butterfly clip, and look at these earrings. They're little bows, and they have little pink deer. They come from Walmart. I just had to talk about that for just a second. I'm sorry. Now, for me, the first thing I like to start out with is my priming stuff, like with lip prep and skin prep, and I'm going to be using my favorite primer from Sephora. That is the Say Glowy Super Gel. My favorite is the shade Star Glow. This is the new one they released, the Rose Glow. I have never tried the Rose Glow shade before. I just recently purchased this from the Sephora and Kohl's near me. They had a little mini here. So let me roll up my sweater because this is a white sweater. Oh my gosh, this was a bad move. So I thought I would try this shade out. Let's just see. And we'll put it on the back of my hand too so you can see it before I apply it to my face. So let's rub that in. This might be a little too dark for me. I don't know. I'm hoping that it'll just kind of rub right in. So let's have a look and see. You know, I don't think it added too much of a tint, but I am going to be putting some foundation over the top. I have gone through multiples of these. Now, I've always gotten the mini, so please keep that in mind. I think I've gone through maybe about 4 minis at this point. All right, let's just apply that. This might be a little dark. Don't worry about my face being pink. My skin's very sensitive, so me rubbing any kind of product on my face, it's going to turn pink. So we'll just give that a minute to settle. But this is like I need a little bit more. I didn't squeeze out enough. Really prep my skin. This is my favorite primer from there. This is honestly the only primer that I would really need in my collection. This one and the one from e.l.f., the Poreless Putty Primer. Okay, so I feel like it does add a slight tint to my skin, which I should have figured that that shade would. My favorite is the shade Star Glow, which is the lightest shade, but I saw this in store and wanted to try it. But now the formula itself, I don't like this shade for me personally, but the formula of this is amazing. This is one of my most favorite primers. Not a fan of this shade exactly. I feel like it's just a little, well, you can see. But I am going over the top of it with a pretty light foundation, so it should be okay. But now the primer itself, amazing. But I would recommend more so if you're around my skin tone, the shade Star Glow. That's the most perfect shade. Okay, lip prep is usually what I do next, and I have 2 here that I think are absolutely both amazing, and they both have little sets of these. I'm not sure if they're still available. I know the Tower 28 one, I believe, was sold out, but it might still be on their website. I have the Tower 28 Lip Softy and the Summer Fridays Lip Butter Balm. This one from Tower 28 is in the shade Dolce de Leche, and then this is Vanilla Beige. I love both of these formulas. They both put out little mini sets for the holidays. This one from Summer Fridays might still be available, so if that was something you were interested in, you'd rather have 4 minis than 1 full size, you know, that's fine too. So I love both of these, honestly, any one of them. I have all of the shades of the Lip Softies from Tower 28. Every single one of them are nice. It just kind of comes down to the shade you want and the scent, because each of these are scented. This one is my favorite. It has a very light scent to it, and it smells like caramel, which I love the scent of caramel. So let me swatch that for you. And then I will also swatch the Summer Fridays one as well. I've been using that one a lot more lately because it is in my everyday makeup drawer for this month. These two might honestly be about like a similar shade. That's probably why I like them so much. Okay, the top one here is Tower 28, and then this one from Summer Fridays. Yeah, they're similar shade. This one's just a touch darker, but once you really put it on your lips, it just kind of blends in and they look about the same shade. Both of them are equally as lovely. I love them both. I think it also just depends on what you're looking for. I'm going to apply the Summer Fridays one today for lip prep. I love these. I know they have one that's coffee. I would really love to get that one. These are so nice. They're so hydrating. I know that they were I don't know if they still are, but I know at one point they were very hyped up. Honestly, I think it's well deserved. I really do like them. They're very comfortable on the lips. They feel nice and hydrated. Really good. Okay, eyeshadow palettes are next. I have two here. I would recommend one over the other, but that's more so a preference thing. I love both of these palettes very much. The Natasha Denona I Need a Nude and the I Need a Warm. I think both of these are such beautiful palettes. The I Need a Nude is my all-time favorite. I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but my palette is so messy, and I do have pan in one of the shades right here. This is a messy palette. Like, I don't think my camera's going to show it, but it's just, you can tell that it's just dirty from where I've just dug into all of the shades. This is my favorite palette of all time. So this is my #1 recommendation for eyeshadow palettes. But the I Need a Warm, which is her more newer palettes, I'm kind of having to turn it a little bit because it reflects. This is just as beautiful. If you love the beautiful warm tones, then this palette would probably be right up your alley. This is also a very beautiful palette. I favor the other one more, but I like this one too. It's very pretty. I want to get more use out of this one too because I feel like I don't have as much use, but now I have had this one for over a year. So let's create an eye look using both of these palettes. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. Now, the first thing I want to do is take that shade Fair, which is this shade, right here. And I'm going to take that on a Flawless Concealer brush from e.l.f. This is just, I'm going to use this large brush because I'm just going to be setting my eyeshadow primer. And we're just going to place that all over my lid, just to kind of make sure everything is nice and set. I use this shade so much. I want to hit more pan in this palette because I just love this palette so very much. Honestly, no, I've never had a palette that I've loved this much. I saw where she has a little mini, I think she's calling it Baby I Need a Nude, and there's 3 shades. It's a little trio and it comes with an eyeliner, I believe, and it's like a little holiday set. I don't remember which shades, but it's 3 in this palette. And tell me why I want that when I have the palette here, but I don't know why I want that. I guess it's because it's kind of in the same, because it is the I Need a Nude and I feel like I have to have it when I don't. But you know, at the end of the video, I will just discuss some things that I'm looking at to purchase from the sale. I like to see that too, to see what people are actually interested in buying. Okay, on a Sigma E24, I'm going in with that shade Mesh. This is the next shade that I would love to hit pan on because I have a pretty good dip in it. And we're going to apply that right into my crease. That's one reason why I wanted to use this shade, because I really want to hit pan on this one next, maybe. I don't know, I just want to use this palette over and over and over. If somebody told me that I could only use this palette for the rest of my life, I'd be fine with that. That's how much I love it. It's just such an easy palette. And honestly, my favorite look to do is to take that Flawless Concealer brush and go in with this shade right here that I'm applying now, Mesh, and mix it with the shade Fair and put it all over the lid all the way up to the brow bone, and it's the perfect, well, I would say one and done, but it is 2 shades, but when you mix them, it's like 1 shade and one and done. And then sometimes I'll apply a light sparkle over the top and I'm done. And it's perfect to me. That's just the most easiest look. On days where I know I want something fast, that's what I apply. Okay, on a Sigma E54, we're going to move over to the I Need a Warm palette, and I'm going to take the shade Soft Spot, and I'm going to press this on this outer corner. You know, I feel like I don't have too much that I'm looking to buy from the sale. I feel like it's not as much as it usually is. But, you know, I will say that a lot of the holiday makeup that's come out, like the sets, I mean, some of them just don't interest me that much this year. Like some sets before have just really gotten me, but this year it's just not really been the case. I'm gonna go back in with that Sigma E24. We're gonna blend around that. I don't know what it is, I don't know. Now the holiday palettes I've been wanting, like the new Makeup by Mario palette, the new one from Huda Beauty, the Lawless palette, I never picked that one up, but I would still be interested in that one. That's one that I'm considering buying during the sale, but I'm not sure yet. Okay, we're going to do the same thing on this eye. I feel like these are such easy to work with shades. That's one of the things that I feel like I love the most about neutrals, is they're just so easy to work with. It doesn't really take too much to blend them together unless you're working with like maybe a black shade, but other than that, these more soft shades are just easy. And I'm doing a very simple look today. But these kind of looks are just my go-to. Okay, I'm going back to the I Need a Nude, and I'm going in with the shade Muse, just taking that on my finger. I'm sorry if it's confusing with me bouncing around. I'm just trying to use a few shades in each palette just to show you. I love both of these palettes, but this one, it's just such a pretty eye look. So simple, which is what I love. Okay, next would be mascara. Now, I have two mascaras that I love. One of them I don't currently have because I do have an empty. There's a little spoiler, I plan on repurchasing that one during the sale. That is the Refi Lash Sculpt, the one that has that very curved wand that takes a little bit of a learning curve. I love that mascara. I have never found a mascara that does my lashes the way that one did when I owned that first tube. Now I'm hoping that I don't buy a second tube and it doesn't do the same, it doesn't perform the same. I'm hoping it'll be just as beautiful, but I loved that mascara. I did not want to let that tube go, even though it was old and it was time to go. That's such a beautiful mascara. It just works for me perfectly. My second favorite mascara is the Tower 28 mascara. This is the Make Waves mascara. Now this one is the black shade. They do also have a brown. I am tempted to repurchase the brown shade as well during the sale. I'm not quite sure yet. I don't really need to be buying mascaras because I do have a few that are open still, but these are my favorites and I want them back in my collection. And this one, I'm about to have to get rid of this tube too because it's getting a little bit older. It's so funny about this mascara because the first time I ever used it, I got it as a little point reward from Sephora. I didn't like it. I remember not liking it, but then I decided to give it another chance. I bought it in the brown shade. Loved it. I don't know what it was. I don't know if just that little mini was maybe older stock or something. I'm not sure, but I just didn't like it that first time I used it. But now, I will say, the first time I ever used it was when I was really all about the false eyelashes, so that could have played a part. But when I bought it in that brown shade, I fell in love with it, and then I bought the black shade again, loved it just as much. So, I don't know what happened with that first batch. But it is one of my favorites now. And I always want it in my collection. And there you go, you can see the one coat. So pretty. I believe on Tower 28's website, they have a set where you can buy both the black and brown shades. That might honestly be a better deal. I mean, I don't know if Tower 28 does sales around like Black Friday. I'm not sure. If they do, that might be a good time to pick that up. I mean, if that was something you wanted. Because, I mean, you know, always keep in mind, the Sephora sale is either going to be an okay deal, really mostly if you're rouge. If you're kind of the other tiers, I don't know. It kind of depends, I guess, on what you're purchasing. I mean, I guess any discount is better than nothing, but I think that you could find better deals for sure. I think what I'm going to do, I have been doing this lately when I've been doing my eyeshadow reviews, and I don't know, I used to do this a long time ago, and it kind of keeps me from over-applying foundation. I'm going to apply my corrector and my concealer next. I only have one corrector recommendation, and it is the one from Cali Ray. Now I have two shades. This is the Hideaway, it's got a long name, Hideaway Brightening Hydrating Under Eye Serum Concealer. I have the shade Pale Sun, which is the shade that is perfect for me. And then I have Cool Sunrise. Now this shade's a little bit darker for me, but it does help cover any darkness I may be having for that day. It does help with that, so you know, just keep that in mind. But Pale Sun is the most perfect shade. I can apply this and I don't have to apply a concealer over the top of it if I don't want to. So I'm going to be applying this shade. Also, that's glass, so I think that that is amazing. I'm just going to apply a little bit on each side because I am going with a concealer afterwards. I don't want to apply too much. And I'm just going to use my finger to apply that. And this way I can go ahead and finish up the lower lash line as well while I'm here, and just go ahead and finish up the whole eye area. I think this is such a lovely corrector. It's honestly one of the best ones I've ever tried. I do like the Smashbox and Becca one. That one's good too. And if you want one like this in the little pot, that's an excellent choice, but I just love the way this one applies. I just think it's just so easy. And because of the shade, I can stop there if I wanted to, but I do have some concealers that I like. Now, here's where I kind of did a little more than two. I tried to just do at least 2 per category. Few categories have 3, but honestly, all 3 of these are good, and I just want to recommend all of them. So I have the Tower 28 Serum Concealer, the Natasha Denona High Glam Concealer, and the Kosas Revealer Concealer. I think all 3 of these are amazing. Now, I have other favorites too, but I think these are just probably be my top 3. All of them are good. For reference, in the Tower 28, I'm in the shade BH, but now this shade is just a touch too light, so I might go up a shade when I repurchase it. The Natasha Denona, I'm in Y1. And the Kosas Revealer Concealer is in the shade 3. This one is just a touch too dark. So I think what I'm going to do is apply the Natasha Denona one today. Why not? Especially since I'm wearing her eyeshadow palettes. This is a good concealer. I know a lot of people love this concealer, or even using it as foundation. I know I've applied it like that one time before, but I don't remember what I thought about it as foundation, but it is a really good concealer. Alright, and while I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and finish up the lower lash line. I'm just going to take the shade Mesh from the I Need a Nude palette, and we're going to run that right underneath here. And then going to the I Need a Warm palette, I'm going to take this shade right here, which is the shade Fancy, and pop that right in here. Just for a little pop of something. I think I use about 2 shades each from this palette, so I think that's pretty good. So you can at least see, you know. But now I have whole reviews on these palettes on my channel if you are interested. I always have a playlist in my description of all my eyeshadow palette reviews, so definitely check there if you're interested in seeing full reviews, live swatches, and everything. Okay, I took my earrings off right quick because I'm about to apply foundation. I definitely didn't want to get foundation on those cute little deer. I have 2 here. I have other foundation favorites, but I just wanted to keep this a little more minimal. So my first recommendation, if you're looking more for a tint, is this one from Tower 28. This is the Sunny Day. You can see how much I'm used. This is the Sunny Days Tinted Sunscreen. Mine's in the shade Larchmont. I love this stuff, as you can see how much I've used it. Now, yeah, you're going to see a lot of Tower 28 in this video. They're my favorite brand. Going to be fully honest, fully transparent about that. I love all of their products. Now, if you are looking for an actual foundation, I love this foundation so much. This is Patrick Ta. This is the Major Skin Hydro Luxe Luminous Skin Perfecting Foundation. Mine is in the shade 4 Golden. This is such a beautiful foundation. I have worn this every single day for the past like 3 weeks. And I just love it so very much. I'm going to apply this one today. It's in my everyday makeup drawer, so I'm just trying to get as much use out of it as I can for the month. So I'm going to apply that. But I want to quickly mention before I apply that, because this goes hand in hand, the setting spray that is my all-time favorite is this one from Charlotte Tilbury. This is the Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. As you can see, I only have about this much left. I have bought the little kit that she has out for the holidays right now, where you can get 2 of this size in one. I just wanted to mention that. This is my favorite setting spray. It's the only one in my collection, and it's the only one I probably will continue to have because it's just that good. I like to spray my sponge with this before I go in with foundation. That's why I wanted to mention it right quickly. And then what I like to do is I like to take about a pump and a half on the back of my hand, and then I like to just spread it kind of out like so. Dot that on. And then go in with my little sponge and pick up some of that. This foundation is just so beautiful. Now, I know it's kind of, I think, a foundation that's hit or miss with a lot of people. Some people really love it, some don't. So, I mean, you know, it is a very glowy foundation. Just keep that in mind. To me, I like that it's glowy because I don't really like super matte products, but now I understand that for those who have very oily skin, that's a necessity. I have more combo skin, but I don't have like a huge amount of oil breakthrough in my skin. I just think it's so pretty. And I like that it has like more skincare kind of ingredients in it. I don't see anything wrong with having an extra layer of skincare in makeup. I mean, you know, just depends. I just think that looks so beautiful. And now that that's over the top, I feel like the Say primer doesn't look too deep for me. I still would much prefer the Star Glow shade in that, but now with this on, it looks fine. Okay, now I have my powder, bronzer, and blush recommendations here. I don't know, I might wear a cream bronzer since I've been wearing a lot of powder bronzer lately, so we'll talk about bronzers first, then blush, because I might use a cream blush as well, and then we'll talk about the face powders. So I have 3 here. Now, there is another bronzer that I really love. It's the one from Haus Labs. However, I think that might be being discontinued because I know there's only like 2 or 3 shades left at Sephora, or on Sephora's website, I should say, and I think there's a lot sold out on the Haus Labs website, so I'm not going to really discuss that one too much further, but I do love that one. I hope that they're just changing the packaging and they'll bring it back because it's a good one. So for the 3 bronzers here, I have 2 creams and then I have a powder. So for the creams, the first one, if I can get it open, is from Tower 28. This is their Sculptino. I think they call this a contour, but I use it as bronzer. Now this one is in the shade Broad. This is so lovely. They claim this is to be more matte, but now because a lot of my base products are glowy, I find that it ends up taking on more of a glowy finish, but it's a really good one. The next one is from Say. This is their Sun Melt Natural Cream Bronzer. Mine's in the shade Fair Bronze. This is one of the best cream bronzers I've ever used. One of the best cream bronzers. It is beautiful. It looks like this right here. I'm going to swatch all of these. I'm just going to show them to you first like this up close. This is a beautiful, beautiful cream bronzer. And then for my powder option, I like this one from Charlotte Tilbury. This is the Airbrush Bronzer. Mine's in the shade 1 Fair. And I just love this big giant pan. And another thing I like is you can pop the pan out and just buy the refill. I think that's really nice, especially because this is not a cheap bronzer by any means. So let me swatch each of these for you on the back of my hand so you can get an idea for the tones. Okay, here are the 3 shades. This is the Tower 28, the Say Beauty, and the Charlotte Tilbury one. You can just see right there the biggest difference in each of them. This is definitely a lot lighter. Of course, now these are cream, so they're a little bit, you know, easier to build, like quicker than this one. Now, I think the Say looks more like more neutral. Now, the one from Tower 20 is definitely very warm. I think the Charlotte Tilbury one looks pretty fairly, slightly more neutral, but a little bit more on the warm neutral side, if that makes sense. But honestly, all 3 of these are beautiful. I think I'm going to use the Say one today, though, because I haven't used that one in a while. And you know what? I could actually use this, and then after I set my face with powder, I could go over it with the Charlotte Tilbury. That way I can show you more than one. I'm going to take this Flawless Face Brush from e.l.f., and we're going to just dig into that. And we're going to run that up here. This is such a beautiful, beautiful bronzer. Like, if you just love a very natural bronze, look no further. It's just perfect. And it just blends so easily into the skin. It's not hard to work with it or anything like that. It's just a very subtle bronze, which is what I like. I much prefer a soft, subtle bronzer shade for myself personally. And I feel like this is perfect for that if you are interested in that kind of vibe. For blush, okay, I could sit here all day long and recommend you to blushes. Blush is my favorite part of makeup, aside from eyeshadow, but more so blush is probably the top. I have a cream, and then I have one that's like a cream and a powder, and then a powder. But there are many more than this. Actually, I always link my favorites. You can find that in the description box below. It is an affiliate link, so if you click through it and then you shop like all my favorites in one spot, you can find a lot more of my blush recommendations there. That is a work in progress. I'm constantly adding to it and everything, just so keep checking it back if you're interested. But this was hard because there were so many blushes I wanted to tell you and mention. So for cream blush, I have this one right here from Tower 28. This is their Beach Please cream blush. This one is in the shade Magic Hour. Just such a beautiful, beautiful shade. This is pigmented. Very pigmented. A lot more than I thought it would be, but it's beautiful. The next blush is from Patrick Ta. This is one of the double take cream and powder blushes. This one is in the shade Not Too Much, which is my favorite. I'm going to turn it like that so it don't reflect. This is my favorite out of his blushes because it's exactly as the name would say, not too much. It's one of his blushes that are not so... Ooh, you gotta be careful. I mean, you still have to be careful, but not as careful as some of his blushes. This is so, 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 so beautiful. So beautiful. And then another one that I have just kind of recently acquired, but I've been loving it. I love the tone of this one. This is from Makeup by Mario. This is the Soft Pop Powder Blush. This one's in the shade Desert Rose, which is just such a beautiful everyday shade. I mean, it's so gorgeous. I'll be swatching all of these in just a second on my hand so you can see all of the shades. Okay, here are the blush shades. We have the Tower 28. This is the Patrick Ta Cream and Powder, and then here's the Makeup by Mario. And you can just see just how pigmented that shade is from Tower 28 compared to these. I mean, look at that. It's beautiful though. And they have some really beautiful shades too, as do all of these. But I mean, I could sit here and swatch blushes with you all day long. I love blush. There's many more from Sephora that I love, but if I had to narrow it down... So I think I'm going to actually apply the Tower 28. I haven't worn that one in a while. And I'm going to apply that with my favorite Refi brush. So I'm going to dip just once into that. Once. Because you can see, look at that. Look how pigmented that is. And I just went, Let's apply some over here and get some off the bristles. And then we'll come back. I mean, look how pretty and darling. Woo! I would love to have more shades from them, but I know with them being a clean beauty brand, I know things can go bad a lot quicker. I will say that I haven't experienced that much with Tower 28. Like, I have some brands, but I mean, you know, it still is a clean beauty brand, so just keep that in mind. Alright, for powder. I have two powders here. I have a pressed and a loose powder that I really, really love. Pressed powder. Can we guess who it is? Tower 28. This is their Get Set powder. This is the translucent shade, but I think that comes in like 4 shades total. I love this powder. It's so pretty. And then my favorite loose powder is from One Size. This is the Ultimate, I think it's called Ultimate Setting. Yeah, Ultimate Setting Powder. Now this one is in the Ultra Peach shade. Of course, it comes in all kinds of shades. I've tried it in the translucent. I've tried it in this. I like both. I think it's a good powder. It's so good. So I think I'm going to apply both. Let's apply both. Okay, let's go in with the Tower 28 one first for like under the eye area. I need a mirror. Do I have any creases under my eyes? Not really, considering that I've been sitting talking for a while. This is the Tower 28 setting powder. I'm just applying it with a brush. You can totally use a sponge too. I have this brush sitting right in front of me. Okay. Brush is unset. Apply this just right here on the T-zone area. Honestly, I might not need to go in with the One Size. This one is performing very pretty, but the One Size is so good too. Okay, you know what? Yeah, maybe we'll... This is a little powdery. I just want to mention that it is a little powdery when you dip your brush in, but I don't mind that because I feel like it's a very soft powder, so it's not going to look like cakey. Okay, I think I'm going to apply the One Size just to the rest of my face. Now, this brush is from e.l.f. This is the pointed powder brush. They don't make this brush anymore, but the brush is not important. I'm just using something a little bit larger just to kind of lightly go over the rest of my face so you can kind of see the powders in action. Because this is a good setting powder too. It's really good. we applied that powder, I'm going to go over the bronzer and the blush with a powder option. So I'm going to take the Charlotte Tilbury and we're going to go lightly over where I put that Say, just so you can see some more options. This is a good bronzer too. I just like the size of it. I feel like you get a lot, and it probably, unless you're using it every single day, it would probably take you a while to go through it. So I know it's a very pricey bronzer, but then I feel like if it is going to take you a while to go through it, it might be worth it to somebody. And then we'll go over the Tower 28 blush with the Makeup by Mario. Now, I am really rubbing that Refi brush on my little silicone mat here just to make sure that cream's off of it. And we're going to lightly place that over the top. Oop. So pretty. I just love talking about makeup. And I'm sorry, this video is probably going to be so long, and I'm sorry. I wanted to give some multiple options, but not like too many where it's overwhelming, but you know, a few. Okay, I feel like I can put my earrings back in now that I finished the face. I just did not want to get that all over these cute little earrings. For brows, and now I have two, the pencil and the gel. Love them both. The brow pencil is the Kosas Brow Pop pencil. Mine's in dark brown. I just recently actually repurchased this because I have an empty on this brow pencil. The brow gel is the Kosas Air Brow Gel. Now I have this little teeny little sample here that come in a birthday gift from Sephora. I am still using this. Just for reference, I've been using this pretty much every day for the past like 3 or 4 months, and it still is not empty. I just wanted to point that out. I can't imagine how long it'd take you to go through the full size. But I think this is one of the best brow pencils ever. Let me open this up right quick and then we will apply it. I have missed having this in my collection. It's just such a perfect pencil. Let me zoom in so you can get up close. Comb these brows down. I just missed having it so much in my collection. I just think it's the perfect pencil. Now this is not the nano tip. They make one that's nano. That one I'm sure is fine, but I don't need something that small for my brows. This one is plenty good. I mean, it's like the perfect shade. It's the most perfect shade that I've ever found with a brow pencil. I just think it's perfect. And I'm so glad that I bought it again. I still have other brow products in my collection. I mean, they're good. I'm not sitting here saying they are not. But once I use them up, this and this brow gel are the only two I want in my collection. I don't ever need any other brow product. And then for the brow gel that never quits. And that looks perfect. That's all I ever need when it comes to brow products. Just that pencil and that gel and I'm good to go. Okay, we're moving on to lip products. This is the final category here, lip liners. I think it goes without saying that the Tower 28 lip liners are all I care about. Are there other good ones at Sephora? Yeah, sure. Sure. I don't care though. I like these. So I have all these swatched out for you on the back of my hand, so we'll go through that. All right, the top row are the original 3 that they released. We have from top to bottom there, Fill Me In, Work of Art, and Draw Me. Those are the original 3. And then they released a second group. We have Check Me Out, Paint My Number, and Color Me Fine. And honestly, these are the only lip liners I need. Now, you can apply these to your eyes and your cheeks. They're multi-liners. I have never applied them that way. I'm just going to go ahead and be fully transparent about that. I've never applied them on my eyes or my cheeks. I solely use these as lip liners. And as lip liners, they are the most perfect lip liners I've ever used. So, now I just need to figure out what shade I'm going to wear because I think I know what lipstick I'm going to wear. I want to make sure it kind of matches. Okay, I'm going to use the shade Check Me Out, which is from their second launch. Well, what is wrong with me with my messy lip lines today? And then I like to fill in the top lip and blot down. Look at that. Perfect. Perfection. Okay, for lipstick, I have two options here that I really like. Now, I will full on admit that I have not tried a lot of lipsticks from Sephora. I have a lot of drugstore lipsticks that I will admit, but these I really do like. Now, one of them is a $50 lipstick, so please take that for what you will. But the first one here is from Lawless. I believe these are called like the Forget the Filler satin lipsticks. The name isn't on the packaging, but I will have all this listed and linked for you below. This one is in the shade Wedding Day. This is such a beautiful shade. So beautiful. I love any kind of makeup that's kind of got names like that, like for a bride, because usually it's makeup that I'm really going to love. That is that shade right there. Look how pretty that is. Oh my gosh, it's such a gorgeous shade. So gorgeous. And the other lipstick is from Westman Atelier. These are the Lip Suede matte lipsticks. I have PK and I have Lacquer. These are beautiful, but they aren't expensive, okay? They're expensive, and I would never tell anybody to buy a $50 lipstick, but I'm looking at this as a favorites video. PK is my favorite of the two shades that I have. So let me go ahead and swatch PK. I will say this packaging is very nice, and it has, like, you know, the magnet. It's very heavy, but I mean, you know, they're still, at the end of the day, $50 lipsticks. There we have PK, and there's Lacquer. Lacquer on me, I don't like by itself. I like to pair that up with a deeper lip liner, and then it's perfect. But on its own, no, it just looks a little odd on me, but I still love this formula. I like PK the best out of the two that I have, though. But I'm going to be applying Wedding Day today. That's the one that I matched up to the lip liner I'm wearing. Of course, I'm going to wear the one that's for, like, Wedding Day. I love anything marketed, like, bridal. So pretty. That's just so gorgeous. I do have glosses that I'm going to be talking about next. Honestly, I don't even want to put a gloss on. I am for the sake of the video, but I mean, look at that. That is such a pretty lip. That is definitely like a beautiful bridal lip. Well, I mean, depending on what you want. Not all brides want subtle makeup. Some brides wear bold makeup, which is beautiful. But if I was a bride, this is what I would want. Okay, for gloss, I have two different ones here. Well, I have multiple shades in each, but I have two different ones. One is a plumper. I'm just going to say that right now. It's kind of got an icy, spicy kind of thing. So not everybody likes plumpers, but I love these. I don't mind that feeling, so I'm going to mention them. But the first one is from Tower 28. Of course it is. These are their Shine On Lip Jellies. I have 4 shades in total, with Oat being my most favorite. So I'm going to swatch all of these for you. The first shade I have is Chill. Now ignore that little sticker. That's where I write down the date. It's a complete clear. So I'm not going to swatch that one for you because it's just a clear gloss, but it's really nice. Okay, then we have Oat, which you can see is my most used one. This is a light pink. This is probably the one I'm going to apply today because I love this soft stuff. This is the shade Oat. So pretty, pretty, pretty. Now this next one is called Iced Pistachio. I believe this was a limited edition shade, but they make the regular pistachio shade. The reason why this is iced is because it does have some shimmer in it, and it's very pretty, but they do make the pistachio shade just without the sparkle. And that's that one right there. Honestly, that one might actually be pretty over the top. Might wear that one. I honestly wish they'd bring that back and make it permanent. And then the last one I have is Cashew, which is a little bit more of a brown. And then we have that one right there. And then the plumpers in question are the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Big Lip Plumpgasm. I have the Fair Medium and the Medium Deep. Let me swatch those for you right quick. Let me go ahead and swatch both of those, and then I'll just show them to you. These are really, really nice. I love these. Well, they do have that icy spicy, so if you don't like that, you won't like these. Okay, that's the Fair Medium and the Medium Deep shade. I just think these are just so beautiful. These are just really stunning lip glosses. Okay, I wiped those off the back of my hand. I didn't know if those Charlotte Tilbury ones would leave red marks the way the Too Faced ones had done me before. So I'm going to apply the Tower 28 Iced Pistachio. Now, like I said, you can buy the original pistachio shade if you like kind of the tone. I'm going to apply that over the top. Okay, and there we have all of my top favorite makeup items from Sephora. If you are looking for recommendations, then these are beautiful. These are lovely. I love every single one of them. See, they create such a beautiful face of makeup. However, if you are not looking to purchase right now, it's totally fine. Shop your stash, see what you have. I'm sure you have products that look exactly like these. You definitely do not have to shop the sale if you are not wanting to. You are not going to miss out. It is totally fine. I know all of you know that, but I think sometimes it's nice to give a reminder because I know I'm guilty of that myself when I, watch Sephora hauls and stuff, and then I'm sitting there thinking, oh, I want to buy that too, but you definitely don't have to. Now, just for fun, I'm just going to discuss some things right quick that I'm looking at for the sale. I like seeing what people are going to buy. So I'm just going to mention a few things here, and if you're not interested in this part of the video, then thank you for watching, and I will hope to see you in my next one. But for those of you who are just curious, really one of the first things I want to purchase, let's start with makeup first, and then I'll do skincare and then perfume. I do have a couple of perfumes I'm looking at. Now, for makeup, I am definitely going to plan on repurchasing the Refy mascara. That mascara is so beautiful. I want that mascara back in my collection. I need it. The second thing I'm actually going to buy is the Air Brow Gel from Kosas. I want to buy the full size. After seeing how long it has taken me to use this mini, I want that in my collection. I know I mentioned before that I don't need to purchase it right now because I have other brow gels, but honestly, I just know it's one of those things that once it's gone, I'm going to miss it and I'm going to want it back in my collection, and I want it. So I am going to be purchasing that during the sale. I am looking at the Lawless, the Dreamy Dozen Volume 2 eyeshadow palette. I do think that's a pretty palette. I have last year's holiday palette from Lawless and really did enjoy it, really do like it. So I am considering that. I don't know yet. Also, the new Huda Beauty palette. I don't know if I'm going to buy that during the sale or if by the time you see this video I've already purchased it. I'm not sure yet about that one. I'll have to see how that goes, but I do want to purchase that palette at some point. So I just wanted to mention it right quickly here. I think that might be really about it for makeup when it comes to me. I think that was really all I was kind of looking at. Now, as far as skincare, I definitely want to purchase some skincare from Tower 28. I definitely want their Skin Barrier Redness Recovery Moisturizer, their Gel Cleanser, and their serum. I do have the spray already, but I might buy another one of those because I'm using that so much. I've been using it in my skincare every morning and night. So I am probably going to buy that as well. I'm just looking at everything I have in my little favorites list here. I do want to buy their skincare set. This is the first time I'm actually going to really be buying skincare. And that's why I'm saying that the makeup really isn't as much as I thought it would be, but I'm looking at that. And for the perfume, I'm looking at 2 travel size, mind you, not the full size. The first one is from Fleur. That is the Vanilla Skin perfume. I'm looking at the travel size of that one. I love Missing Person from Fleur. That is such a beautiful fragrance. Just a little background here. I love vanilla in perfumes as well as like those very clean scents, like they're not overpowering. A good example of that is Radiant Nectar from Clean Beauty or Clean Reserve. I love that fragrance and I'm about to be finished with that one, but I think I'm going to wait and purchase that one maybe the next time a Sephora sale comes around. I would like to have that back in my collection. That is a beautiful, if you want that clean girl kind of fragrance, I feel like that's a perfect one. But I mean, perfume is very personal, so I understand that. So Vanilla Skin is what I'm looking at, as well as Soft Spot. I'm looking at that one as well from Fleur. I really want to smell that one. That just sounds right up my alley as well. So those are the 2 fragrances I'm looking at. I'm not sure yet. I'm thinking about that, and I even thought about buying the mini or the travel size of Missing Person again, but I might hold off on that one because I know what that one smells like. It does smell pretty. Those other 2 I've never tried before, and I would really like to just kind of see what they're about. That's everything on my list, and I'm not necessarily going to purchase all of that. I'm still kind of deciding, so we shall see. But I do hope that you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, I hope you will please consider leaving a like, a comment, or subscribing if you haven't already. Make sure you hit that bell icon so you are alerted to all my future uploads. Follow me on Instagram at jessicadeerly. All of these items will be listed and linked for you below. They are affiliate links, so if you click through and purchase, I do earn a small commission. And if you choose to do so, thank you so much for supporting me and my channel, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!